Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
Hey guys, welcome in. Happy Monday to you now, February the 6th, 2023. It is a $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com, which means, of course, best bets ready to roll for $9 across the site, including the three guys we've got today, breaking down some of the more marquee matchups on the schedule as we welcome back in Drew Martin in the house, as is from an undisclosed location. There is Jimmy Adams ready to roll here. Tony Finn hanging with us. $9 Monday. So Super Bowl week here, Drew. A lot going on, of course. Final week of football, and then it'll be all college hoops moving forward. So what do you got locked, loaded, ready for us here today?
Yeah, Joe, actually, these three games we're talking, giving them out on the show and going to pass for the clients on $9 Monday, but do have a couple matchups circled on the Tuesday card, so you can kind of still take advantage of it later in the day. It's still $9 up until midnight, Joe?
Yep.
But actually, haven't been kind of finding my groove just yet, so wanted to take the day off with the clients and really pound it on tomorrow's card, man. So with the short card, not sure what they're doing with Big Monday of late. It hasn't been all that big. We got a little short Monday here, but three good matchups to talk on the card. So thanks for having me on, buddy.
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, these are blue bloods among blue bloods here. So some fun stuff here, some mid-majors, whole little something for everybody there, Jimmy, including, of course, Super Bowl Sunday just around the corner. Anything locked, loaded, ready to roll at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, so turning my attention to the NBA today, Joe. We've hit three of our last four, starting to kind of heat up in the association. So that's the official client play on $9 Monday. I'll also be giving out another client play for free on this show today. We did take a loss last night, so looking to bounce back, no doubt, and I'm ready for a fantastic week.
Going to be a good one. That is for sure. Of course, the calm before the storm today, before the proverbial shit hits the fan with Super Bowl just around the corner, and every bet and prop known to mankind will be broken down. Until then, Finn, what do you got locked, loaded, ready to roll at Wager Talk?
I do have. I found some edges, what I believe to be edges, some favors in a game, and I have my first college basketball dead prez report. So I have 5 positions right now in the 2 big Monday games, and I have a couple more that waiting for the books across the board, Joe, to release all the college player props. Those player props in college basketball typically come out a little bit slower than the NBA, and for good reason. 363 or 360 change at Division I teams compared to the dozen NBA teams who are interested right now, seemingly. So, good weekend. Great weekend in college. Again, up about 60 units since the 7th of January, so over the last 30 days. But the NBA, I'm starting to get into that rut or whatever it is. I don't know. I had 3 games this weekend. I had a 20-point lead in every single game and lost. Yeah. Oh, we remember these days. Nothing safe. No lead is safe in the association. So let's hit it.
Yeah, no, just when you think it's going to happen one way, it goes the other. But as they say, there will be days like this. But let's turn it around here tonight because not a huge card, but really some intriguing matchups. And we're going to start at Fog Allen, where Kansas is laying 4 here tonight against Texas. That total is 146, 9 o'clock Eastern time tip on this one. And boy, Kansas just got manhandled there in their last game out. In the meantime, Texas, boy, oh boy, they did their thing, didn't they? They handled business. They're winning on the road. They're winning home. And boy, oh, Chris Beard, who? But one thing to go on a road, it's a whole other thing to go to Fog Allen and play basketball and come out victorious here. What do you think? Can Texas keep rolling here, Drew, tonight? And maybe kick a Kansas team down while they're still there?
I mean, Joe, I think they can, man, and they're going to need to. You don't get many chances to kind of kick them when they're down. I kind of like that analogy there, Joe. I mean, looking at Kansas this season, 18-5 straight up, but something's going on of late. I haven't been able to put my finger on it. They're just 2-4 their last 6. They're 2-6 their last 8 against the spread, which kind of speaks to them being overvalued in the marketplace. And sure enough, it kind of correlates with the full season here, Joe. They've been a money burner, just 9-14 against the spread on the season. Now, Texas, you bring up, no Chris Beard, no problem. They have been kind of rolling here, 19-4 overall. Now, granted, he was the person that put it all together, I guess you could say. But they're 9-2 their last 9. They've won 4 of their last 5 against the spread. So kind of opposite of late. They've been a little bit underpriced, talking about the Longhorns here. Now, full season, they are just 10-13 against the spread, slight money burners. What I go after here, Joe, is Kansas -4. We actually talked about this. Adam Trigger brought it up last week, that college basketball, the spot plays are being noticed, especially on a short card like this, like we get tonight. And it's almost like they're emphasizing this, the spot with Kansas coming back home, Fog Allen, like you talked about, tough place to play. -4, though, I mean, Texas has been the team that's playing better basketball. They also knocked down their free throws in this range. I don't know, Joe. I know it's kind of spot play saying Kansas, but I think Texas plus the points is the play here, Joe.
All right, taking the points here. Certainly, you're not alone in thinking that way, and certainly leaning that way. We know Bill Self over the years has been pretty good off a loss, especially at home. But Texas had a really nice come from behind win. Now, what is it? 48 hours later, here they are at one of the toughest road environments in all of college basketball. Jimmy, are you buying Texas to keep it rolling, or is Bill Self in Kansas the way to look here?
Yeah, no, I am buying it. So look, Kansas, they've now lost 4 of 5 Big 12 games, and there's just no way I can lay the 4 with them here. I mean, so look, KU, they have a good starting 5. They really do. And Jalen Wilson's a star. But this is not a deep team at all. They do a pretty good job in most statistical categories. But the thing is, Texas can match whatever they want to do on offense. And the Longhorns they're simply the better offensive team. 23rd in the nation in offensive efficiency versus D1 schools compared to 81st for the Jayhawks. Texas, fresh off that road win against a really good Kansas State team in Manhattan. Longhorns 4-1, both straight up and against the spread last 5. And the road team is actually 12-4-1 in the last 17 meetings between these two schools. Texas, they're going to get their points in the paint, and they've done a really good job winning close games. They're also the much better free throw shooting team. So if this game's close late, that's always something you want to consider. And it also factors in probably to why they're winning these close games. The only way I can look is to take the points here, Joe.
I like grabbing some points here as well. Finn, you going to make it a clean sweep here? Are you going against Bill Self in Kansas at Fog Allen, or is it Texas for you?
Well, and if you're going to go against Bill Self, the Kansas Jayhawks at Fog Allen, this is what you're going against, 292-16. That's Kansas's record at Fog Allen under Bill Self. 292-16. So if you're going to go against Kansas, what are you getting? Even money? Because if you're getting even money, then I'm running like a girl screaming from that. That's a 950 winning percentage, and when you're giving less than 5 points on top of that, then that's a recipe that I think most and these guys too, it may be a situational for them, but in this case, you want to be able to shoot free throws well. Both teams, Jayhawks shoot free throws 73%, Longhorns 74%. Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse shoots about 4% better from the field, 5% better from the distance. And there's players on here. The depth of was mentioned, the depth of Kansas not being quality. I would say that's accurate, but that's very typical of Bill Self. He plays a short rotation early on, especially in conference play. And most of the young players, transfers included from the portal, don't get much playing in time until later in conference. And then Bill does his thing, then he reduces this rotation to 7 players. It'll be 7 players come March, and those will be the guys you depend on. The commercial times get longer. You have 3 and 4 minutes as opposed to what you have in regular season play. So I've always said that there's a couple things that are pretty important when you come to late February and March. One of those is guard play, and the fact that you have cohesiveness between your rotations, first and second. In this case, really the Achilles for Kansas is their point guard being Harris. He's inconsistent and he's struggled with blitzes. So we'll see tonight. I unlike these two guys, I certainly couldn't bet against Kansas coming off a loss that they did. If you look at the last time they came off a loss, they had that 3-game losing streak. Remember, and then they performed pretty well. They beat a Kansas State team, and if I'm not mistaken, was it their last 2 games? Well, I won't go through it, but I can look it up while I'm talking to you. But the thing is,
Yep.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yep.
I would be on Kansas. I have a couple props out of this game, not on the team, but on players. So we'll see how this thing works. That should be interesting. First game, good game with Miami, which we're getting ready to discuss. Miami and Duke, and then late game Kansas, Texas. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
I can't see Kansas making this a half-court game. Why would you play to the strength of Texas? If they get up tempo and dictate pace, I think it's going to be a long night for Texas. If Texas creates the pace and they play at the level they want, oh boy, there might be a mutiny in Kansas here tonight if they end up losing this game playing Texas basketball, no less. Should be a good one, 9 o'clock. You heard Tony Finn mention it. Another good one happening in the ACC involving the U. Miami laying 3 now, taking on the Duke Blue Devils. 145.5 is what we're seeing here. 7 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll have this game first and then the Texas-Kansas game. But boy, oh boy, this is all about home and road dichotomy here. The home team, they don't lose at home there. Drew, we know this. Duke, not really good on the road this year. And boy, oh boy, Duke, nice win over North Carolina at home over the weekend. Miami goes to Clemson and handles business. Now they're back home. This is a huge meeting 48 hours later. Who are you giving the edge to in this one, Drew?
Yeah, fascinating matchup in the first of the back-to-back nationally televised games here in the ACC, Joe. And I thought, you brought up a great point. Home-road dichotomy here, guys. We get the Duke Blue Devils. They're 13-0 at home. We get the Miami Hurricanes. They're 12-0 at home. The only problem for Duke is it's in Coral Gables, in Miami. I think that favors the Canes big time here. Jim Larinaga, you're going to get a well-coached team. Isaiah Wong, good ball handler, heck of a player. I think he's going to be playing in the association here shortly. And Joe, 18-5 on the season, talking about Miami here. They're 14-9 against the spread. They're 76% from the free throw line. So in terms of laying this point spread, they're kind of checking the boxes for me. And then you look at the Duke side of things. Yeah, 17-6 straight up, likely going to be a March Madness team here. But to your point, they're under 500 on the road, sitting at 4-6 in road games. They've lost 4 of their last 5 against the spread on the road. They're 9-14. against the spread. So I don't know. I guess you could point towards they've won 3 straight games: Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and UNC, like you brought up. But UNC's lost their last 2. Wake has lost their last 4 or 5, and Georgia Tech's kind of at the bottom of the ACC. So I don't give them too much credit here. I actually think them going on the road, it's too tough of a spot here. I like the Miami Hurricanes here, Joe. I really do. I think they win it, and I think they win it by more than a field goal.
All right. Well, it wouldn't be a shock. They've been doing it all year long at home here. Neither team had a whole lot of time to celebrate, Jimmy, those wins over the weekend. I mean, you take down North Carolina. It's like, all right, now we got to go to Miami. Miami goes on a road, beats Clemson, who was at the top of the heap, and voila, now 48 hours. Let's see what you got here. Who you giving the edge to?
Yeah, so I mean, classic letdown spot for Duke, right off their big rivalry win against UNC. Now they're running into a Miami team that's playing some really good basketball. They hung 92 in a win over Virginia Tech, then came away with that impressive victory you mentioned at Clemson, the top-ranked team in the ACC. Look, the Hurricanes, they're able to be successful for a variety of reasons. They do a lot of things really well. They have a great field goal percentage. They can shoot the 3 ball. They're efficient from the free throw line. The one key for me in this game is it's imperative that Miami either win the rebounding battle or at least hang around here, and they need to stop Duke from getting those second chance opportunities. Interesting stat. Miami's they've won 25 straight games when they out rebound their opponents. So if they can out rebound Duke, it's a done deal. But even if they hang around in that department, they're going to cover this spread. Look, they only lost by 2 at Cameron Indoor back on January 21st. They're 4-1 against the spread last 5 overall. And as we've mentioned, a perfect 12-0 at home. Give me the Hurricanes all day.
Hurricanes it is for Jimmy here. I believe this one opened up at 2 there. The money came pouring in on Miami last night, and now it looks like we're starting to get a little bit of buyback here on Duke, hovering around the 3. I did see 4s. Miami laying 4 as of early this morning there, Finn, but the Duke money coming in. Who are you giving the edge to here in this?
Well, I agree with both of my esteemed colleagues here. I mean, I think that you have to like Miami. There's Jimmy just was talking about rebounds. It will really surprise me due to the length of the Duke team compared to the length of the Miami team if they out rebound Duke. But they're really good. Listen, they cheat on when their opponents take a shot from 3, or use less than like 9-10 seconds of shot clock. I read this that they cheat. They leak out their guards and try to get in transition before the shot even hits the rim. If it's missed, they run on, or they try to go into transition off makes and misses, and they give up some offensive rebounds as well. So interesting, a lot of points to this game. I think Miami's the best shooting team in the ACC, weighted, and they shoot well from the 3. They go to the rim. They play small. They're going to play small. And the really big question here in this game, Joe, is the 2 big centers, or essentially the 2 bigs for Duke. Are they going to play both their big Dukes, their young big Duke centers, against an experienced and I think a more experienced coach too? Now that Coach K's gone in this matchup, I'm very interested in this game, and I have some props in it too as well. Part of my dead presidents report. So, but I agree with these guys. I like Miami.
All right, Miami. Seems to be a clean sweep here. Should be a good one. 7:00 Eastern time on that one. 9:00 we'll have Kansas and Texas. And how about a little late night degenerate special here, huh? Weber State taking on Northern Colorado. Looks like a pick'em price here at 141.5 is what we've got here. An 11:00 Eastern time tip. Again, intriguing from the standpoint of, didn't Weber State just play like 9 quarters of basketball over the weekend? I think it was like every time I kept seeing this is like another overtime. Crazy win over the weekend. Now they got to come back, play on the road, it looks like, to Northern Colorado, who, boy, oh boy, it's not a good road trip for them either here, Drew. I don't know. Pick 'em price feels about right. Are you giving an edge one way or the other here?
Yeah, you're right, Joe. 2 overtime game just last time out. Now, hitting the road again, back-to-back spots here. So for me, Joe, this is one where it's like, do you like the talent-wise, part of the handicap, or do you like the spot-wise in this travel spot? Because it is kind of ugly. A double overtime game, then just 48 hours later, you're going to be on the road again at Northern Colorado. And, heading to Greenlee, Colorado, not a place I know very well here, but the Bears with head coach Steve Smiley off to a very rough 2023 here, Joe. This team is not very good. 7-16 straight up in the Big Sky Conference. They've even been worse. They're 2-9 in conference. Where on the other side of things, Weber State, the Wildcats, they've won 4 of their last 5, and they're 78% from the free throw line. So when you kind of break it down even more, Northern Colorado is going to go the way that their three-point shooting goes. And at times it has been good. However, up against Weber State, I think Weber State is just a much more talented team here, Joe. And a lot of times in these smaller conferences, you see it when they actually come back to conference play and they're playing like talented teams. Sure enough, we've seen Weber State be the better team in those games. And at a pick 'em price, I think they find a way here, Joe. Spot does scare me, but they're the more talented team. I'll take the Wildcats of Weber State in this one.
Yeah, I mean, going to altitude, but you're taking on a 2-9 team, and I mean, they suck. Let's be realistic here. I mean, maybe, and if I'm not mistaken, they were picked like number 1 or 2 to finish in the conference here, and they have just been absolutely horrific here. Jimmy, double overtime or not, any way you play in Northern Colorado here?
Well, so look, we got 2 teams headed in opposite directions, right? It's really no surprise that Northern Colorado's lost 3 straight and 11 of their past 13. This is absolutely one of the worst teams in the nation in defensive field goal percentage. They can't play defense at all, and they're not much better in offensive field goal percentage either. They are the better offensive team here, and they can't really rebound either. They're decent from three-point land. They do a decent job shooting free throws, but that's about where the positives end for me and my handicap. So Weber State, they've won 4 of 5, and there's a big discrepancy in the conference standings here. Wildcats 7-3, third in the Big Sky. Northern Colorado sitting at 2-9, tied for last. Look, Weber's not much of a scoring threat, but they are giving up about 11 points per game less than the Bears. And Northern Colorado, they don't cover the number against teams with a winning record. They just don't. Weber State won by 9 the last time these teams met. And at a pick 'em price, I think that you just have to take the better team in this one. I agree with Drew again. Give me Weber State.
Weber State it is here. Finn, what side of the coin flip game are you going to reside on?
Well, I think that everything's been said so far. It paints the picture of what tonight's supposed to be. Whether it happens that way, always interesting in the Big Sky with 2 teams rated 250 or less than in the Ken Palm or some other metric like that. But Northern Colorado, they don't shoot the ball very well. They don't defend. They can't stay in front of the other team on the way to the bucket. They turn the ball over too much. They don't turn their opponent over. They don't do anything really well. I think there was a mention of their free throw shooting contest or their free throw shooting capabilities, and that's not bad. Hey, 75%. That's better than league average or Division I average. But I mean, at least Weber. Hey, Weber has a quad 1 win, and I think that came against Utah State. Okay, so not that Utah State's going to burn the city down when they come visit and play your team, but that's impressive for where they're currently ranked. Give me anybody but Northern Colorado, probably from here to the end of the season.
All right, we're fading Northern Colorado. If you haven't figured that one out, his team is atrocious. All right, guys, when you put it all together, it's not a huge card, but obviously some really interesting matchups here tonight. Now it is time to figure out if one of these games on the card tonight These guys like a little more than the rest. Drew, we'll kick it back to you. Which one? Which one you going to lean towards here tonight?
Joe, I'm going to the late night degenerate
Boom.
special. Singled out, by the way, guys. This is the last game on the card, 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. I don't know about, New Zealand rugby or anything like that. I'm talking American degenerate special. If you're watching Texas, Kansas at 9, and even before that, Duke, Miami, you need to roll it over into something. Let's get on. Weber State, the Wildcats, winning 4 of their last 5, 78% from the free throw line. Pick 'em price here up against Northern Colorado. We already hit on it, guys. But add on the fact the first game of the season, they scored 36 points against Houston. Never were able to find their footing here. They're sitting at just 7-16 straight up. They've been terrible in Big Sky Conference play, just 2-9 in the conference. Weber State, the more talented team. Tough spot it is. But at the pick 'em price, I think Weber State, the Wildcats, find a way to win it, Joe. Give me Weber State at the pick 'em price.
Boom, Weber State. It is here, guys. Late night degenerate special there, 11 o'clock Eastern time. Tip, Jimmy, which one of these games on this limited card are you looking at here tonight?
Yeah, so official client play for me on this one, and let's roll with the Miami Hurricanes. Look, the clients and I were on Duke when they beat UNC. You don't want to be on them tonight. This is your obvious letdown spot as they go into Coral Gables. Running into a Miami team that's playing some really good basketball. They're fresh off that road win against Clemson, the top-ranked team in the ACC. They do so many things well offensively that I don't think Duke's going to be able to stop them. They just need to hang around on the boards. They cannot get dominated there. But look, they almost beat Duke at Cameron Indoor. They lost by 2 there. They're 4-1 against the spread last 5 overall, and they haven't lost a home game all season. A perfect 12-0. Miami gets it done and covers the spread tonight. Let's go Hurricanes.
All right, the U it is for Jimmy Adams and Tony Finn. What do you got cooking up here for a best bet for us tonight?
I'm going to go with a same game parlay. We'll make it interesting. I searched as well outside of the primary schedule, the one they made prior to the season tip off, and went to the extra board, the extra games per se. And there was an interesting one with Lafayette Leopards, Holy Cross Crusaders. This is not a game that's going to get a big handle. It's not going to get a big an audience from being the feature game on ESPN. No, not. But there'll be some fans watch this game and some gamers that played this. This is really a big step down in class, and it's hard to see it for Lafayette Leopards at Holy Cross. These two played before, and Lafayette handled their business very, very well. There's a lot of things that Holy Cross do well. Really, there are. But what Lafayette does well, Holy Cross doesn't do well, etc., vice versa. The obvious concern is Lafayette shoots the 3 before they even wake up in the morning. Okay, almost 50% of the time. They have to hit a few of these. Holy Cross doesn't defend the rim very well. They do a poor job in the paint, defending short, small, easy 2 shots at the rim and close and around the bucket. So give me Lafayette minus, basically, I pick them on the road. Short total, 126.5, but Lafayette minus 2.5 as the big play Monday. It's not a degenerate, but I like them. Lafayette Leopards.
Boom, Lafayette Leopards. It is here. While our good friends at the Gold Sheet, they've got themselves a play of the day, and I believe it's going to be Southern taking on Alabama State here. And of course, this one here should also get a whole lot of points, but they are looking at Southern leading the SWAC in effective field goal percentage as well as 3-point shooting. Alabama State second to last in effective field goal percentage and also last in 2-point shooting, while Alabama State has lost 4 straight by an average of at least 8 points per game. When you put it all together, our friends at thegoldsheet.com, give them Southern to get it done here tonight against Alabama State. I'm going to look towards the U, only I'm going to look towards the total tonight here, because with Miami averaging at least 80 points at home in conference play this year, They got suckered into the game at Duke that they lost 68-66 because they let Duke dictate the tempo. I don't see that happening here tonight. I think the Canes continue to drop 80-some-odd points here, and I think this thing goes up and over the 145.5. Should be a fun one here tonight at the U. And to recap once again, late night degenerate special for Drew. Weber State taking on some YMCA team at a pick'em. Tony Finn, same game parlay here. What do we got here? Lafayette money line and the under at 126.5 for a 2-to-1 price. Jimmy's going Miami, laying the 3 against Duke. I'm going to take the over in that matchup, 145.5. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, they are going to take Southern and lay that 6.5 against lowly Alabama State. If you head over to WagerTalk.com, you can go ahead and grab those $9 Monday best bets site-wide here, guys. Across the board, you visit Jimmy Adams, Drew Martin, Tony Finn, all best bets today, every Monday, in fact, at WagerTalk.com. $9 Monday means $9 best bets. Head on over there and pick yourself up a few and make plans to come back and join us again tomorrow here. More college basketball on tap. We've got you covered all week long here. Super Bowl week, yes, crazy, but also March Madness will be here before you know it. So a lot going on college hoops. Make sure you come back and join us again tomorrow. Until then, on behalf of Drew, Jimmy, and Tony, appreciate it, the time, guys. Best of luck with all the plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 58 on February 11, 2024. From your favorite Wager Talk or Sports Memo handicapper for only $11.99 versus a regular price of $19.99 for a total savings of $800. This limited time super discount basically is 52 weeks at $23 per week, less than the price of one 4% play, coming out to only $3.29 per day. With the cost of a 30-day all-access priced at $2.99, it is almost like getting 8 30-day all-access passes at no additional cost. As an added bonus, your all-access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl, the more additional days you get for free.